bare face, sundor, tapre wahaj, expression.
Yeah. So we were saying that Yumna's hand on Mirab's hand on Murtasim's hand scene was epic, and then
It was, to me it was symbolic because this was the first time that Mirab reached out to Murtasim, like physically like touched his hands, and then obviously like he was hurt and that's why she did it, and then he held her hand and she didn't pull away. And it wasn't like, oh, she's like so mesmerized or anything. Like she was fully in her senses and she was conscious of what was going on, and like it's almost like she decided to, you know, keep holding his hand. So it was, that's why I'm saying like, oh, this was such a nice way to show intimacy.
Yes.
And I loved it. Like she was very different kind of Mirab, and you can see her. This was the first time that you could actually see her like softening up. Even when he touched her face,
it was almost like the thing you would see in Hollywood, like before a kiss.
Exactly. Or even like people when they start, it's like the beginning of a bedroom scene.
The foreplay, yes. It was a very
and both of them looked so
oh my god,
Yumna
looked so good.
Yumna looks so beautiful. I think this is the most beautiful she's looked in this whole
series.
series.
Black usually makes people look, and she's with her complexion.
But I really like her with, I feel like when she puts a lot of makeup, it kind of takes away from her beauty, because she has such perfect skin, and her features have such softness that when you put a lot of makeup, you kind of gets lost in them.
Yes.
And her hair and her eyes, everything just looks so, and her expressions were, I wrote something out about her expressions that they were so layered. And it was done so beautifully, and she's such an amazing actress. I love that scene. I feel like this whole scene could have been like cheesy and boring if it was like lesser actors performing it. But it was.
I'm smiling because I'm remembering part of the scene, but also I want to talk about the background music, because usually in Siraj ul Haq's dramas, the OST is a little loud, little frequent, it's all over the place. I find that in this one it plays a role, because at parts where you feel your heart is racing, the music tempo picks up, right?
I was telling you that this earlier, right? Like my heart was racing so much throughout this episode. After it ended, like I felt physically exhausted. I'm like, wow,
like you just had a cardiac arrest and came back from
it. It was
recovered.
It was in a good way.
I
felt tired and exhausted, but in a good way.
But I felt the music like So then of course Haya has to
interrupt
like in Kabab mein haddi kind of situation. And I'm not sure why she came, not really sure, but she Mirab opened the door. She kind of like, what do you want? Why are you here at this time of the night? Anyway, they have a little interaction, and then Haya kind of goes in, even though Mirab says you can't come in. She goes in, tries to say something to Murtasim that is of no significance. It's like, I didn't.
I think she's just having such a hard time accepting that she was so close to getting what she thought she was getting, and then it all fell apart all of a sudden. So she's just trying to get back on track, whatever track that she was on before. So and she felt like, oh, Murtasim was like paying her attention or was allowing her to kind of do things for him, and then he got mad at her, so she's trying to like get him to not be mad at her.
Or in a way try to like not let them be intimate, because she probably thinks what's going on. But you're not there in the middle of the night. Like, what do you? Anyway, then Murtasim's like, get out of here. So she goes, and then then the scene where
the
pillow. He picks up the pillow, and then Mirab comes and that look, Mirab's acting there. Oh my god. Like she kind of like has that puppy face, kind of like I'm a
what I
little
love
shy.
about her is that she still has such innocence
Yes.
to her face. Yeah.
Yeah. So then she takes it from him, and then he's like, okay,
What's going
what's
on?
going on? She's like, you can bed base or something, because you're. But then she follows it up with, oh, you're so like injured. How can I let you?
I kind of knew that's why.
Yeah.
It's not that because they held hands. I mean,
No.
maybe it's
Maybe in his head
it's a
he
bit
thought,
of
okay,
both.
this is
Yeah,
the next.
yeah.
But he.
That's why he's like, "Are you sure?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Dude,
Dude.
you're not."
Not getting what you want.
Yeah.
You're
yeah.
expecting too much on the first day. So then, and he says in his head, what?
Gosh, ye
Yeah,
zakam
Kabina
kabina.
Ibara. Yeah, like basically,
Like,
yeah.
yeah.
So then he goes and lies on the bed, and then Mira,
I think he assumes that.
Yeah.
Oh, so I'm lying down. She's obviously
obviously,
yeah.
of course,
When
duh.
she starts picking up her pillow and then
Yeah,
he's like, "Oh wait, what?"
Yeah, like he had that WTF look, and he's like, what is going on?
Yeah.
And then she's like kind of nervous, anxious, she's kind of like all over the place.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then she goes and lies down there, and she's like, oh, like she can't settle in that whatever that sofa
That most
thing.
uncomfortable
Yeah.
piece of furniture.
Yeah. And then he says he's like rolling his eyes, right? And he's like, what is she doing? And you can come lie down beside me because what? I'm Kane Jauka, which is debatable, but the
Exactly.
point is,
He's saying that, but does he mean it?
Which he obviously does not mean.
Yeah, I think in his mind he's like, like let her come and then
We'll deal with it.
we'll
Yeah.
decide.
We'll decide later.
Yeah.
My problem, just attention to detail here, is because everything's so perfect and their like their
Yeah.
background, the bed, like the satin was like so crinkled.
Yeah, so
Or
it should
silk or
maybe
whatever
they
that was.
did that scene a lot of times and then it got
Yeah.
crinkled during
Yeah.
it
Just
got
look
wrinkled
weird.
during the shots or whatever. But I also liked how it didn't used to be satin, but you know how like satin sheets are
Yeah.
very like indicative of like this
Yes.
kind of
Yes. Like
it's very like,
raunchy and
yeah,
cheap.
yeah, it's supposed to be very alluring
Yeah, yeah.
and all of that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that was
Yeah. I was like,
that was Zero Choice.
yeah.
Yeah.
Input. But then and that part is so cute where she comes and checks, is he
Yeah,
asleep?
he's asleep. Yeah.
And then she's like, okay, it's safe. I was hoping, or it would have been more in keeping with her character, that she would put like a body pillow in between.
She's not you.
I know, exactly. I would have done that. But I'm thinking, if you're so afraid of this guy
Yeah.
doing things and you're a contractor or whatever, you would put something like a barrier in.
They only had silk sheets. They didn't have
No, they had a body pillow she took
in
to
the
Yeah.
no. They had it's sort of like a body pillow, but
Yeah.
it's for the like
Yeah,
that.
you can take
the,
that and bring it.
The
no?
shades, the
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, so
and then he's still awake, right? So
He's
he
still
turns
awake
and
and he
sees
smiles.
He has a smile.
he has a smile.
And
I
then-
got this.
Yeah. He's like, okay.
Yeah, but then the next morning comes and he's like, no, I didn't get this. He's like looking up at the wall and he's like, yeah, he's got
now
this,
it's like morning. It's time to get off the bed, and nothing's
he has an
happening.
exasperated look on his face. It's either, I'm thinking, why does he have this serious look?
Yeah.
Is it because he's thinking about Ma Begum and all that crap that happened?
No.
Or is it because he's
He's
like, I
like,
can get
oh,
what I want?
It's already morning. It's
Yeah.
time to get up. Like
Time to
nothing's
get up.
happened.
Nothing's happened. So then he looks at her, or she turns towards him.
Yeah.
And she's got all this like hair on her face. And then cut to Sumaya.
and then he removes it. Obviously, she wakes up and she's like, "Oh, how dare you touch my hair
Yeah.
or whatever?" And he's like, "Oh, I was just removing it so you like तुम्हारा नींद खराब पड़ा था." I'm like, dude.
Yeah, please.
That was not the only reason you were touching her face. Like
Yes.
your eyes, he was
Yeah.
ready to devour.
That's
right
like,
then
this
and
is what I was telling Awahaj is such a good actor.
Good actor, yeah.
That expression from like to the it's I don't want to call it lust, but it is sort of
and that's fully like halal for him to feel lust
halal
towards
lust.
his wife too,
Exactly.
right? Like
Yeah.
it's love and lust, like it's all of that. But like
the
dude's hungry, man. Like
the dude's hungry.
yeah.
Yep.
What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do?
But even that whole fight, the argument, it's so cute and it's done so well. Their tempo is so great with each other. They have such a good rhythm.
Yeah.
The way their voice, like the inflection points, it's so perfect, and like it's very well choreographed, the scene, and then like he's like, oh, but the music of it, and then she like pushes him and gets hurt, and then and then Ma Begum for
she
what
knocks
doctors-
though. She knocks. So I noticed this. I rewinded. She knocks, but it doesn't matter. It's like it doesn't matter. She knocks and comes in. So she doesn't really wait. That's so strange.
I'm like, why would you
Horrific.
walk in on your
Horrific.
married son's like bedroom?
But it has a door. We have established that room has a door.
Yeah, I had my doubts there, but now we know that it has a door. But clearly they don't lock it.
And if they knock, it doesn't mean anything. You can still come in.
You can still come in because like she just barged in.
Yeah. And then she jumps out of bed. Mira's like, oh my god.
Yeah, she jumps out of bed and he's like, yeah. I'm like, woman, why would you do that? Like the mom, why would you barge in like that? Like, and it's early in the morning. Like they could have easily been
not
in a compromising position. Like why? And then it's like, oh, Malik Mukhtar, and like
who cares?
The worst of reasons. I'm like, some neighbor came to your house and I have to like
nobody cares.
Oh my god, it was okay. So before we wrap up, we're almost done. My $1 million question is, so now that Murtasim's in bed because of his like he got to be in bed because of his broken arm, whatever, do you think he's staying there?
I thought about that.
Or he's gonna, is this now gonna be their like sleeping arrangement? And even Mira, like I know she first tried to sleep on the couch and then she came back. So now that she knows like, okay, nothing's happened except for like the hair thing, is she gonna be okay like continuing?
Yeah. So I
don't think they're gonna show this to us, but I really want to know.
Yeah, I think this might be the point where they introduce a conflict.
Oh yeah.
So this would be the part where maybe they would have been in the same bed together, but now something's gonna happen either with Rohail, the crazy dude,
obviously.
and then they naturally cannot be in the same.
Yeah.
For some temporarily.
Yeah.
Because they have
like
to show
they're almost
there, but not quite.
Yeah, and then there's gonna be another conflict.
Yeah.
This Rohail dude is like so annoying.
But where they find him?
I don't know.
We know where she.
Vish, even Vish, and I was like, wait, is this guy unhinged? Like, is that his like?
That's his thing.
Go-to character.
But he's not good at it. Sorry.
Yeah. No, he just plays unhinged, but it's just so like bad.
Yeah, he's good looking. Tall.
Yeah, he's tall and good looking, but I think he needs a little bit more working on his talent.
Definitely.
Anyways, this was our first attempt at reviewing any drama at all, and we started with Darabin. Hopefully we'll keep going. See you guys next week.
Thank you.
Bye.
নিজেরা খুব একা একা কথা বলে